Hey guys, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. I don't see Rudolph or Santa around, but we've got ourselves a sleigh bed. Hey guys, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. It's Lauren here, and today we are going to be making over this sleigh bed. I have had so many questions about refinishing a headboard and a footboard, and I finally came across the opportunity. If you are subscribed over on Dixie Belle's channel, you have seen me doing some antique waxing on a couple of pieces over there, and I am excited to showcase that on our channel here today for you guys. We actually had someone reach out from Illinois who brought their whole bedroom set, and we are going to be completing that bedroom set today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started by removing, well, wait, there's no hardware on a bed. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean. I just want to give a quick shout out to Dixie Belle Paint Company for sponsoring this video. I will be using all of their products today, and you can find them down below in the description. I'm going to start out by using some White Lightning cleaner because this bed needs to be cleaned off before we start anything else. We need to get all of the grease and dirt and dust off of it. All right, now that I am finished cleaning and rinsing the entire bed, I am going to go ahead and move on to sanding. So I'm gonna be using my Surf Prep sander to get this sanding done. I'm just gonna do a quick scuff sand, but I'm excited to use the Surf Prep. You guys know how much I love this, and I really love their foam abrasives because it's gonna allow me to get onto the curves of the bed without straightening them out or flattening them out in any way, because this is gonna mold right around it. If you notice, if I just used, say, a flat piece of sandpaper, it doesn't mold around it, so it would definitely flatten it out. So I'm definitely going to be using this foam abrasive pad to make sure that I can keep these curves intact. And if you're interested in getting a Surf Prep for yourself, you can find the link below in the description, and you can use my code FFT10 for 10% off of your entire order. Now that I'm all finished with sanding, I am going to move on to some Boss primer. I'm going to be using white Boss because that's going to give me a nice protective layer so that no stains come through. And then also it's going to give me that first layer of coverage so I won't have to use as much paint in the end. That first coat of anything, especially when you're going from dark to light, is gonna look a little scary, but trust the process. This is just our first coat, and it will gain more coverage as you apply more coats. So I'm gonna be applying this Boss to the entire bed, and then we'll let that dry. Alrighty, first coat of Boss is on, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be good with just one coat of Boss because that got some really good coverage and I'm not seeing any stains coming through or bleeding through because the Boss is blocking all of those. So once the Boss dries, we'll come back with some buttercream. We are going to be using buttercream for this entire sleigh bed, and I've already got a little bit over here and it's got some good coverage, but we're definitely going to need a second coat after this first coat is dry. There's a lot more surface area because you've got to do the front and the back of both of the headboard and the footboard, plus the sides and all of that jazz. So I'm going to get working. All right, all finished up with coat number 1. We're gonna let that dry and come back for coat number 2. We are back for coat number 2. We're doing a little bit of late night painting. Well, it's not really late night, it's about 7 o'clock, but it is dark outside, but it's just a beautiful evening and I was anxious to get this second coat on, so let's go ahead and do it. I got the entire second coat on there, and then I actually ended up needing a little bit more for a third coat, but I didn't have enough paint, so I was waiting for some more buttercream to come in the mail, and it came last night, and I just finished the third coat this morning. I did that off camera because it gets a little bit redundant when you have to do 3 coats, but all of this is dry now, and it's got great coverage. I tell you this a lot, that when you're using lighter colors, going from a darker color to a lighter color, it's going to take more paint. It's not because the paint doesn't have good coverage, it's just because dark to light is an extreme change. And so I used the Boss and then I used 3 coats of paint. So that's just what happens when you're going from dark to light. Now, my last step of this bed is to make it match the dresser and the 2 side tables that I did for this set. And what I'm going to be using to do the top coat and to give it a little bit more character is some wax. So I'm first going to be using Best Dang Wax Clear, and then I'm also going to be pairing that with Best Dang Wax in the brown color to just give it a little bit more depth, especially around the edges, and it's going to bring out some of the shadows a little bit, and then it's going to make it a little bit of an antique looking bed. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've got 2 Best Dang brushes, one for clear, one for brown. I like to keep them separate, that way I'm not getting brown in my clear, and so on and so forth. All right, I ended up changing my mind and I went ahead and did the clear wax all over the bed, and that way I will be ready to just go ahead and apply the brown wax in the areas that I want to apply it. I'm gonna be applying it with my Best Dang brush, but I'm also going to grab a lint-free cloth. That's really gonna help me shade and buff out areas where I maybe applied too much brown wax, and I can just remove that. The reason that I ended up doing the clear wax first is because it's going to really help me make sure that the brown wax is where I want it to be. If you just apply the brown wax directly to the paint surface, then you're going to get it to where the brown wax isn't easy to remove and to manipulate. Now that we've got that layer of clear wax on there, it's going to be going over top of that. So basically it's a layer of protection against the brown wax, but it's gonna help the brown wax not go all the way into the paint, but instead sort of shade around the areas only where we want it to go. And we'll be able to take some different parts of the brown wax off if it gets too dark or too much in one area. I'll show you what I mean. That waxing took me a while, but it is all done. It is looking gorgeous, and I'm so excited to show you guys the reveal. Here we are, the final result. This antique looking style is really awesome on this sleigh bed, and it just ties in wonderfully with the pieces of furniture that I did that are going to go in that same bedroom with the two side tables and the dressers over there. This project was big. If you guys missed the Dixie Belle projects, I did the side tables and the dresser over on their channel. I will link them down below in the description if you're interested in the waxing process and things like that a little bit more in depth, then definitely be sure to head over there. Let's talk a little bit about the numbers. So this bed frame definitely took a little bit longer than I was anticipating just because of that surface area, and then of course the waxing, which I did on all 4 pieces. I would estimate, even though I didn't keep complete track of the time that I took on this, I would estimate about 10 hours for this sleigh bed, and then for the 2 side tables probably about 5 hours, and then for the dresser probably about 5 hours. So in complete total on this project, I'm in around 20 hours, and I did quote my customers $1,000. Well, I gave them a range from $750 to $1,000. So I definitely will be charging that $1,000 just because it did take me a bit longer than I anticipated. It took me the more amount than I estimated. So that's why I like to do the range. I tell you guys this a lot. Definitely give your people a range. If you've got customers that are wanting to know how much you charge, be sure to say, I think it's gonna take me about this long in your head, and like do all the math, but then give yourself that extra leeway, because if projects take longer than you anticipate, you still deserve to get paid for that, and your time is worth it. So just make sure that you are keeping that in the back of your head when you are quoting people. I really had a lot of fun doing this project, and it is awesome to know that people out there supporting me are seeing that my work is getting better and better, that they're willing to travel for hours to come and bring furniture to me. This actually isn't the first time, and it's not gonna be the last time. So I love doing projects like this. I'm excited for my customers to come back in a couple of weeks and get their pieces of furniture and just to see their reaction. So if you want to see their reaction, we will definitely be posting that on our Instagram story. So be sure to head over to Furniture Flipping Teacher on Instagram and follow us over there for more behind the scenes things. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this waxing process. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the flip side.